Mama America is the country of dreams, the first country in democracy, freedom and human rights, and the first in the world in war crimes, occupation and massacres. And the country that the world agreed to hate. A strange contradiction that is hard to believe, but true. America is an ancient head of state in history. It is only about 400 years old, as it is independent of Zionism for 76 years. And the person who discovered it is an Italian explorer named America in the name of Pucci, and from his name America, he chose the name for this new land, America. Although America is almost, we can say that it is a country that has almost no history and no historical roots, but immediately during the Second World War it was able to literally control the world militarily, economically, politically and even culturally, to the point that it was able to control countries that are thousands older than it. Years. There is one sentence by which we can explain the secret of America's domination of the world, which many historians around the world agreed upon, and that is the addiction to war. There are, for example, coffee addicts like Anna, there are heroin addicts, and there are fast food addicts. As for America, it is a country that is addicted and based mainly on wars, and no one can deny that anymore. I will give you a simple example if you go to Google and search for the largest arms companies in the world. In the first place, you will find an American company, Lockheed Martin, and the world leader in arms sales, with a sales volume of $35.49 billion. The most famous of what it manufactures is the C-130 Hercules, the Galaxy Sword, the F-10 Falcon, and many other weapons equipment. If we come to the second place in the world, we will find an American company, which is Boeing. This American company has reached about $30.7 billion in sales, and among the most famous things that it manufactures are combat aircraft and anti-submarine aircraft such as the H-64 Apache and the F-Strike Eagle FT Super Hornet, and the list of products is endless. If we jump to the fourth place because the third place is a British company. The fourth place is from an American company, Raytheon. The sales of this company reached $21.95 billion. This company is the one that manufactures the famous Patriot missiles that you know of course, and it is specialized in producing anti-radar missiles and tanks. And in the fifth place in the world coincidence with an American company, this company is Northrop Grumman. The volume of its sales reached $22 billion, and it is one of the most important American arms companies that produces aircraft and develops and manufactures military equipment, including radars, naval defense systems, and anti-missile defense elements. America is one of the largest arms exporters and producers in the world. It is a very simple trick, which is to show two carpenters and make a war between them, pointing arms at both sides. Thus, America may win, as Western historians call it, and not Arabs and Muslims. It is a country that is addicted to the magic of something that it cannot give up at all. It means something she has become addicted to, like a person addicted to cocaine, to the point that it has become part of her culture. Also, there is no country in the world that has entered into wars as much as America. I'll give you an example, but first. Buckle up because we're going 200 kilometers an hour. Let's start. The American War of Independence. Mexican-American War, Russian Civil War, Opium War. World War I and World War II. Kosovo War, the War on Afghanistan. Somali Civil War. Boxer Revolution, Wars, the Banana, the War, Korean, Vietnam War, USA Mission to Johnson. Spanish-American War. Philippine-American War. Libyan Civil War. Iraq invasion. Military intervention against ISIS. Angolan Civil War. Dominican, Greek Civil War. The Algerian-American Naval War. Franco-Mexican War. The War. India. First Chinese. And here is exactly the minute. The war in northern Mali. U.S. invasion of Burma. Eritrean War of Independence. Second Gulf War. The 8 Dakota War. 260. Tripoli War. Grenada invasion. All of these are America's wars that are present and shown to the world. So what do you know about the secret wars that are not shown? So now it is clear to you that it is not strange when you hear that America is the most hated country in the world, not hated by governments, but rather by people, because it did not leave a people or a country without entering into war with it, and every war is now at this moment. While we preserve this video in every there is a war now, there are American bullets and weapons in which Africa and the entire Middle East are using it. If you think that it is only for Arabs and Muslims, you are 100% wrong. Try one day. If you travel to Germany, for example, try asking people on the street what they think of America, or if you now live in Germany. Try to do this social experiment and you will see what they will say first. That picture is of a Japanese child carrying his dead little brother after America dropped a nuclear bomb on Japan, specifically on your son. This picture may be considered among the 100 most important pictures of the modern era, along with other pictures. The photographer of this photo, ironically, is American. The most ironic thing was that it was America that sent him there to take that picture. Years later, Joe O'Donnell, who took this photo, spoke to a Japanese interlocutor about this particular photo. And this is what he said in the dialogue where a 10-year-old boy walking nearby was carrying a child on his back in those days in Japan. We often see children playing with their little brothers or sisters on their backs, but this boy was clearly different. I could see he had come to this place for some serious reason other than to play barefoot. His face was hard. The little boy's head was on his back tilted as if he was asleep. The boy stood there for 5 or 10 minutes. Men in white masks walked over to him and quietly began to undo the rope with which he was carrying the child. Then I saw that the child was already dead. They took the body of the child and put it on fire. The boy stood right there without moving as he watched the flames and bit his lower lip vigorously. The flames were burning downward as the setting sun was in the foreground. The boy walked away in silence. During World War II, there was a race for who would build the atomic bomb. First, America was able to do it first, but after the war ended, what did they do? They called the president, Mr. President. He managed to make the nuclear bomb, but the war ended, so what will the force do against Japan? Thus, the most heinous war crime in the modern era was recorded, claiming the lives of about 500,000 people, 500,000 people after that, with the blood of force. The death toll began to rise little by little due to nuclear radiation. The shocking thing is what was happening after the explosion. The children were born deformed. Many people became disfigured by not the explosion but the radiation. This crime was committed by a country that is now considered the largest state defending human rights. By the way, this setback, and the most surprising irony, is how America always portrays itself in films as the hero who saves the planet, the savior from the danger of aliens, the danger of earthquakes, the danger of the end of the world, the danger of terrorism. So films are always frankly not only for fun and to attract money. Not the media or cinema is a tremendous force because it implants an idea in future generations, and this is more dangerous than a weapon. It implants an idea in a person, and the idea that America is always the protector of this world grows on it. I know now you're probably going to ask, since everyone hates this, why do they want to travel there? Perhaps because it is the only place where war will not be declared and oil will not be stolen in the first place. Maybe we should be fair and make another video that satisfies you with the pretty face of America using 2 kilos of makeup.